actually might have done some organizing over the course of the day after our call to action, and so like a lot of preparations.
Yeah, people got signs. There's art making happening.
You're doing Occupy Oakland Monopoly over there.
Occupy Oakland Monopoly.
The rules go something like one player starts with almost all the resources. You get a very small amount of resources, and then you end up in jail most of the time. And you're not getting paid.
Do you get to pass go?
Well, I mean, if you usually go to jail, and that might result in you not getting paid your $200. And then you might have to take out a loan from the bank to like get out of jail.
See how it goes, right?
Yeah. No, I came up and I was like, I just had the idea.
There's Code Frame SF.
We got Bella Ico around.
Bella's here. Yeah. Me and Code Frame and Bella and TRWBS is live. Somebody could type into either the chat or the social stream, so I know that it's working. I'm always nervous that it's not working. I never know what's going on. Captain America's here, and this is the FTP Solidarity Sunday with Occupy Wall Street. Over 70 people arrested yesterday, beaten, injured, had their heads smashed into glass windows. Live streamers and press arrested. People are doing solidarity actions all over the country today, including Chicago as well as UC Davis here in California and here in Oakland. So I'm here in Oakland, coordinating Occupy from Occupy Vancouver. So hi y'all, and we're gonna march. We did 3 FTP marches yesterday, and I streamed all of them. So if you didn't get a chance to see it live, you can go onto the Ustream channel, and the videos are there, and you can check them out. It was actually pretty awesome and fun. There's these really cool bronze statues here in this plaza. If you want to like check these things out, like they're super cool. So you can see this is what we get to look at. It's pretty cool. You can't see them on the one side, but you can see the ones. And then there's a guy, he's unfoiling a banner that he's just done. He's been here painting it since the GA was happening earlier. And it says Oakland Rise Up. It's actually it's pretty beautiful. So these bronze statues are a project. It's artwork for the visually impaired, and it's the Remember Them project, Champions for Humanity, and it includes artwork for the visually impaired that allows visitors without sight to explore the busts of the 25 humanitarians. So the statues are all different humanitarians, and you can sort of see them, not really all that great, but they're really awesome. And I took a bunch of photographs, so I'll make sure that those get posted up as well. So we were going to start at 6, but there was a couple meetings after the General Assembly, and so we're waiting for people to rally up, and we'll be marching at 6:30. Hey Pruso girl, how's it going? Thanks. Are you typing into the chat or into the social stream? I'm never sure. Crossing streams with Justin. So it's pretty awesome here in Oakland. The sun was shining earlier today, so people are in pretty great spirits and ready to march in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Oakland and Wall Street and everywhere else. LA as well. Social stream. Okay. I don't know how to make it so I can see the chat. I guess that's just what it shows me is the social stream. So if you guys want to chat at me, I guess you got to chat at me in the social stream because I can't see the other chat. I wonder if it's because I'm not talking into the microphone. Is that better? Plus, there's really loud music next to me as well. Hi, Occupy Earth. All you guys on Occupy Earth, nice to see you. I'm live in Oakland from Occupy Vancouver, and we're about to be doing a solidarity FTP march in solidarity with Occupy Wall Street and all of the crazy shit that went down there yesterday and today too. Yes, if there's anybody from New York watching, well, actually anybody from anywhere watching, there was just a small group of us last night that decided we should have a solidarity march in Oakland, and we put it all together, and we just tweeted a bunch of stuff out. And by this morning, someone had made a Facebook page, and it just kind of like hit the wire. So it's pretty fantastic seeing everybody pull together in such a short amount of time and take to the streets and march. Yeah. At Courtney Occupy from Occupy Vancouver.
Redheaded.
Oh, really? Wait,
Yeah.
is it Courtney Occupy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no, hi. How's it going? Well, here I am. How's it going, buddy? Yeah? Awesome. He's so cute. Cool. So someone see me talking and asked it, and they've watched my live stream before, so that's cool. I've met a whole bunch of cool people, and people that just come over and say hello. Right. Awesome. That's cool. Captain America's here, you guys. And that's pretty cool. Some Captain America. And see, there's a sign.
Pardon?
Did you say the Daily Post?
This is an old wobbly.
Oh, I thought you said you were with the Daily Post.
Oh, no, yeah.
Aw.
This is drawing on the wobblies.
Hey, you guys. So the chat at the moment in New York is arrest us, we multiply, hella, occupy. So that's the chant. You should, yeah. On that, Justin. Justin got his bullhorn.
Mic check.
Oh, you gotta turn it on.
It's on. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. So, I guess since we delayed a little bit and it's coming around to time, I thought we would talk a little bit about what happened that's leading to this solidarity march. And, you know, yesterday was the 6-month anniversary of Occupy Wall Street. Yeah! They decided to reoccupy Zuccotti Park, and they were there for a portion of the day. There were 73 arrests yesterday in a number of different events, some in the park, some that were part of a St. Paddy's Day parade, and some in multiple marches afterwards. So in the course of all those arrests, 2 people had their heads smashed in the windows, one for texting on a bus, and one in the entrance of a building. One woman had a seizure and not only got no medical support, but she's now what we've heard, she's in a mental institution with no access to lawyers or her parents, and she has a $50,000 bail. All of this while everyone else in New York was running around completely wasted out of their minds. As long as you were not in Zuccotti Park, you were not the problem of the NYPD. So, you know, after January 28, we had a lot of similar problems like that. Wall Street, Portland, and 29 or 30 some other cities marched in solidarity with us. So now that they've had a rough day and we're doing okay mostly for the moment, it's time for us to stand up for them and say, hey, you know, it is a 6-month anniversary. They inspired what we're doing here and what everyone else is doing. And they had a really bad day yesterday, so they need our love and our support and our feet in the street and our voices in the air.
So, the chant, arrest us, we multiply.
Oh, yeah. Also, I remembered, so their chant right now is, arrest us, we multiply, hella, hella, occupy. They're out marching right now. What's that? New York? All right, so
yeah, that was the chant that they're doing on the march in New York right now.
Okay.
I honestly think it's the coolest fucking thing when other people pick up the word hella, because it's so fucking Bay Area. Hella occupy. So that's the word about what we're here for, what we're going to be doing, why the march is going down. And of course, we love Occupy Wall Street. So
arrest us, we multiply, hella, hella, occupy, which we used after J28.
It was colder last night. Alright, so this, thank you all for tuning in. I totally agree. Well, we were up here. We want to talk, we're here in solidarity with Occupy Wall Street after their repression yesterday by the hands of the NYPD.
Rico, I just read about it this morning, so I'm coming out.
So there's a quite a large gathering of people. Mic check! Mic check!
Although we all love diversity of tactics, please remember.
Although we all love
diversity of tactics, please remember.
And although we often go on many FDP marches, you don't have to repeat all this shit, but just listen. We have a lot of children in the march, as some of us can see, so when we do confront the police, let's all keep that in mind.
Don't throw the children at the police.
Don't throw the children at the police, that's right. So that was just about respect for the fact that there's a lot of kids here today, as you guys can see, and they've been making... Mic check! Mic check!
From Oakland to NYPD!
From Oakland to NYPD!
Fuck police brutality!
Fuck police brutality!
From Oakland to OWN!
From Oakland to OWN!
Fuck police brutality!
Fuck police brutality!
That is all.
I got some more. Hey, little horse. And I have this nice rock that I was holding in my pocket, and I have to put it down.
Aww.
Darn.
Sorry.
And that is something we here in Oakland, we know well, and we're here to stand to say that we're standing in solidarity with New York. And I suggest, I don't know and NYPD are receiving all kinds of funding and support and being collaborated and collusion, right? And so we know that when we march over to Broadway and 7th, when we go to OPD, we're speaking to the exact same face, right, of police repression that showed itself and unleashed itself on our brothers and sisters in New York yesterday. So, and secondly, before we do this march, we have sound, so we'd like to open it up as an open mic for anyone who would like to speak, right? And we're being told that in about 15-20 minutes we'll be ready to march. We just want to wait for some more people to join us. So please feel free to just come line up if you have any words that you'd like to speak. We have about 15 minutes.
Alright, while we wait for others to line up to speak, I want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody for coming out. It means a lot to me to see this type of solidarity, that we can come together when occupiers have been attacked. I know that FTP in Oakland happens every Saturday night already, but the numbers are really thin. And we've seen what happens, like on J28 with 400 people. So I'm thinking that if we come together in solidarity to say FTP for New York, then hopefully a few more of us can start to come out on Saturdays to say FTP for the same occupiers who you stand beside every single day, who face not only the risk, but who have also already faced very extreme brutality that may not be a head through a window, but it might have been getting shot in the head with a tear gas canister, you know, or it might have been children being tear gassed or having smoke grenades tossed right beside them. So, you know, I understand that a lot of people lose their faith or think that FTP has lost its direction, but the whole direction is the fact that we don't like the fact that the police are the corporate guard dogs, that they continue to enforce unconstitutional and very violent, excessive, systematic oppression on people who are employing their constitutional rights. And so, in an effort to show that we really will not be intimidated and that it's not only a small group of people who feel that way, maybe we can get FTP to have a number that mirrors this, or maybe even more from now on. So, thank you.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? I love you all for coming out. Thank you. I just want to kind of piggyback off what she was saying about solidarity. Today's solidarity with NYC. We also remember everybody, you know, all across everywhere. St. Louis this week had a lot of brutality. Montreal had a lot of brutality this week. Miami, I don't know if you guys heard about what happened in Miami, but they emptied an apartment complex of occupiers for no reason, period.
Oh.
So look that up, look more into that. But what I want to say is, when we think about solidarity, it's not just our comrades around the world, but it's our comrades here. If we do not stand in solidarity with each other every day, then we are not as strong as we think we are on those streets. We've got to have that solidarity all the time. And we got to think beyond police brutality of beating and tear gassing, but PTSD is brutality as well. So when your comrades are feeling down, do something to make them feel better. Get them ice cream, get them a hug, do something to make your comrades feel better so that we can get along better and solve our problems in a better way, so that we can be stronger in the streets when the cops are coming at us. And we're not worried about who has my back because I just got in a fight with my best friend. So think about that. Solidarity is from the heart and from the mind, and we got to use those better. Thank you.
Are you good? Y'all bringing that on the
All right, y'all. Anybody else? Anybody else have some words of solidarity?
There are tons of words of solidarity here. Why is everybody holding back?
Yeah, come on, y'all. Yeah, let's go.
I'm just gonna make this quick. You know, we've been talking and talking and talking. Let's get the fuck out there and kick some ass. There you go.
Yeah.
I like to say words of solidarity to Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
You know, I saw yesterday that a medic was bashed into the window by an NYPD officer, and that was fucked up. What we gotta understand is that these motherfuckers is coming at us with full force. We must be as peaceful as we can, but we must defend ourselves. We must defend each other. So while we out here, remember, that could be any of us. This is not a game. This is very serious right here. This is a revolution. So what's going on right now? This is like the future. So like, as we make our future, we gotta really, really look out for each other. You know? Because people get killed over this shit. People are dead over what we're doing right now.
Alright, that's a statement from the Occupy Oakland Tactical Action Committee.
All right, so we have a few more people who want to speak, but first, actually, Leo is going to read something for us that maybe we, just to recall this letter of solidarity that was written to us from Cairo.
To all those in the United States currently occupying parks, squares, and other spaces, your comrades in Cairo are watching you in solidarity. Having received so much advice from you about transitioning to democracy, we thought it's our turn to pass on some advice. Indeed, we are now in many ways involved in the same struggle. What most pundits call the Arab Spring has its roots in the demonstrations, riots, strikes, and occupations taking place all around the world. Its foundations lie in years-long struggles by people and popular movements. The moment that we find ourselves in is nothing new, as we in Egypt and others have been fighting against systems of repression, disenfranchisement, and the unchecked ravages of global capitalism. Yes, we said it, capitalism. A system that has made a world that is dangerous and cruel to its inhabitants. As the interests of government increasingly cater to the interests and comforts of private, transnational capital, our cities and homes have become progressively more abstract and violent places, subject to the casual ravages of the next economic development or urban renewal scheme. An entire generation across the globe has grown up realizing rationally and emotionally that we have no future in the current order of things. Living under structural adjustment policies and the supposed expertise of international organizations like the World Bank and the IMF, we watched as our resources, industries, and public services were sold off and dismantled as the free market pushed an addiction to foreign goods, to foreign food even. The profits and benefits of those freed markets went elsewhere, while Egypt and other countries in the South found their immiseration reinforced by a massive increase in police repression and torture. The current crisis in America and Western Europe has begun to bring this reality home to you as well. As things stand, we will work ourselves raw, our backs broken by personal debt and public austerity. Not content with carving out the remnants of the public sphere and the welfare state, capitalism and the austerity state now even attack the private realm and people's right to decent dwelling, as thousands of foreclosed upon homeowners find themselves homeless and indebted to the banks who have forced them on the streets. So we stand with you, not just in your attempts to bring down the old, but to experiment with the new. We are not protesting. Who's there to protest to? What could we ask for them that they could grant? We are occupying. We are reclaiming those same spaces of public practice that have been commodified, privatized, and locked into the hands of faceless bureaucracy, real estate portfolios, and police protection. Hold on to these spaces, nurture them, and let the boundaries of your occupations grow. After all, who built these parks, these plazas, these buildings? Right. Whose labor made them real and livable? Why should it seem so natural that they should be withheld from us, policed and disciplined? Reclaiming these spaces and managing them justly and collectively is proof enough of our legitimacy. In our own occupations of Tahrir, we encountered people entering the square every day in tears because it was the first time they had walked through the streets and spaces without being harassed by police. It is not just the ideas that are important. These spaces are fundamental to the possibility of a new world. These are public spaces, spaces for gathering, leisure, meeting, and interacting. These spaces should be the reason we live in cities, where the state and interests of owners have made them inaccessible, exclusive, or dangerous. It is up to us to make sure they are safe, inclusive, and just. we must continue to open them to anyone that wants to build a better world, particularly for the marginalized, excluded, and for those groups who have suffered the worst. What you do in these spaces is neither as grandiose, nor as abstract, nor as quotidian as real democracy. The nation forms a praxis in social engagement being made in occupations. Avoid the empty ideals and stale parliamentarianism that the term democracy has come to represent. And so the occupations must continue, because there is no one left to ask for reform. They continue because they are creating what we can no longer wait for.
Straight up.
But the ideologies of property and propriety will manifest themselves again, whether through overt opposition of property owners or municipalities to your encampments, or the more subtle attempts to control space through traffic regulations, anti-camping laws, or health and safety rules. There is a direct conflict between what we seek to make of our cities and our spaces and what the laws and systems of policing standing behind it would have us do. We face such direct and indirect violence and continue to face it. Those who said that the Egyptian revolution was peaceful did not see the horrors that the police visited upon us, nor did they see the resistance and even force that revolutionaries used against the police to defend their tentative occupations and spaces. By the government's own admission, 99 police stations were put to the torch. Destroyed, and all of the ruling party's offices around Egypt were burned down. Barricades were erected, officers were beaten back and pelted with rocks even as they fired tear gas and live ammunition on us. But at the end of the day, on the 28th of January, they retreated and we had won our cities. It is not our desire to participate in violence, but it is even less our desire to lose. Resist actively. When they come to take what we have won back, then we will surely lose. Do not confuse the tactics that we have used when we shouted peaceful with fetishizing non-violence. If the state had given up immediately, we would have been overjoyed. But as they sought to abuse us, beat us, kill us, we knew that there was no other option than to fight back. Had we had laid down and allowed ourselves to be arrested, tortured, and martyred to make a point, we would be no less bloody, beaten, and dead. Be prepared to defend these things you have occupied, that you are building, because after everything else has been taken from us, these reclaimed spaces are so very precious. By way of concluding then, our only real advice to you is to continue, to keep going and not to stop. Occupy more, find each other, build larger and larger networks, and keep discovering new ways to experiment with social life, consensus, and democracy. Discover new ways to use these spaces, discover new ways to hold on to them, and never give them up again. Resist fiercely when you are under attack, but otherwise, take pleasure in what you are doing. Let it be easy, fun even. We're all watching one another now. And from Cairo, we want to say that we are in solidarity with you, and we love you all for what you are doing.
Occupy! All right, y'all, we have 3 more people who want to speak before we begin the march. So we're going to start first with Bridget. When I stepped onto the plaza on October 25th, one of the first things that I said when I stepped from the cement onto the grass, when that fence came down, was that I am afraid to be here, and I should not be afraid to be here. Every time they arrest us, they're not sending a message to us because we know where we stand. They're sending a message to every other person out there who sees it, to be afraid to go home. We are an example of solidarity because the whole world is watching. And every raid, every arrest burns away our fear so that we can hold them accountable and shine a light on corruption. So when I bring this sign out, I draw upon the past so that we can say that when we are united, an injury to one of us is an injury to all, and that we are not afraid to hold those who would injure a single one of us accountable.
So I'm just going to keep this real short because I know a lot of us are ready to hit the streets. I wanted to let everyone know as a reminder not to take for granted our wonderful number. The hotline is up and running. I have a Sharpie, but I would like to hear all of us state the NLG legal hotline number together if we could and not take it for granted under the current state of oppression that we all live in. So the number is, let me hear it, 415-285-1011. So find me if you need to Sharpie it onto yourself, but solidarity and love to all.
It's a number that I will never forget.
We're getting to March soon. Whitney.
Yeah.
I hate police brutality.
Let's get this written on your arm.
We recommend, yeah.
Okay. Here.
Just because we all have it memorized, but...
They all have it memorized and I don't, so it's getting on my arm.
I also want to say that
Yep.
I'm a little nervous, but I worry because the police...
Same thing happened in New York, too.
Look at us as one faceless group. They lose their sense of humanity.
Thank you. We pull it down.
Criminals and attack us.
Thanks.
I don't want to make that mistake. I want to hold them accountable. I do not want them to hurt us or our comrades. And I also don't want to see them all as one faceless group.
They are!
They are in the uniform.
Let her speak.
I know it's controversial, but I don't want to sink to that level. I don't want to follow that example, and it makes it a lot more complex. Yes, it makes it a lot more complex, me figuring out what tactic to use when. But I'm up to that challenge because I don't want to sink to that level. And I also am so happy we have children here today, and I think it's really important, and we want to protect our children as well as each other. And we want to stay solid together. Thank you, guys.
How's it going, y'all? My name's Guy. So what happened last night in New York? Everybody familiar with the term institutional violence? That happened yesterday. It happens when a bank forces families out of their homes. That's institutional violence. It happens when they do to people up in Santa Rita. That's institutional violence. These are all different forms of how the state, the institutions around us, damage us psychologically, sociologically, physically. We all need to be aware of that, I think. And it's not as catchy to say fuck institutional violence as to say fuck the police, but I personally like fuck institutional violence because that includes not only what the police do to us, but what the government does to us in legislative, whatever they do. And it affects all of us. So that's all I wanted to say. Fuck institutional violence.
Right on. All right, so we have one last speaker before we go on with the march, and it's actually, you want to speak, Alex? You want to speak? All right. No, we got someone from New York waiting to speak, but Alex, you want to speak first? Okay. All right. So we have somebody. Actually, Gabby's going to introduce somebody on the line now who from New York who's going to speak to us. So if we can, we're going to put the phone right up. If not, Gabby might be able to relay the message.
So someone's speaking from New York via the telephone.
So we got Freddie on the phone. Freddie's an occupier from Occupy Wall Street. Beautiful. He's been out there all the time, nonstop. And he was there at Zuccotti Park last night, and he's with us now on the phone. We're going to bring these connections together. We're going to see how this works technically. We're going to try to make it happen. But here's Freddie. Freddie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you fine, Gabby.
All right, wait. Let's try again now. You want to say something? We're trying to make it work.
Hello? Say something?
All right.
Gabby.
All right.
Freddie, live from Occupy Wall Street here via the microphone.
All right, Freddie.
Okay, so yesterday I was at Zuccotti Park. I got there early, maybe around 10, 11 in the morning, maybe 12 in the afternoon. It started off real beautiful. The weather was nice. Everybody was in a nice, cheerful mood. But around, I mean, I want to keep it positive, but a lot of fucked up shit happened yesterday, so I'm going to just say what's in my heart right now. Around 2 o'clock, the NYPD decided to arrest people for dancing on the sidewalk. They arrested maybe 4 or 5 people for dancing on the sidewalk. They slammed one person down really, really hard. That just wasn't called for. After that, I was a little shook up. I left for a little while, came back. There's 2 areas of the park where it's just off limits. I seen that we had took that. It was occupied. It was beautiful. We was able to stand on the wall in Zuccotti Park, but the security's always telling us, no, you can't stand here. You can't sit here. You can't do anything here. Then I left, came back. The police had it completely occupied. I don't know what happened. From there, this is about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It continued to be a good day. There was we was deciding whether we was going to retake the park or not. After long discussion, we decided that it was safe for us to have blankets, but not sleeping bags. So during the GA, we announced that blankets will be provided for everyone. Right after that, the police started surrounding the park. Not directly after that, but more and more police started showing up. They had us maybe 1-to-1. For every occupier, there was a police officer.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I think that was the strongest show of force I've seen during the occupation. So anyway, around 12 o'clock, we had a puppet tent like going around the park. We had a couple of puppet tents. Some people that were celebrating St. Patrick's Day was just arrested for playing a bagpipe for no apparent reason. They just ran over there, and because the music was too loud, they decided to arrest them. They weren't even occupiers. They were just visiting New York City to have a good time. After that, we had the puppet tents all over the park, and from what the NYPD said, that gave them reason to close the park. I was near the front, near the red statue in Zuccotti Park. Me and some friends of mine, we all locked arms, and the police just did a full march on us until we just started to trip over each other. We all fell. After we fell, the police just started grabbing on people, pulling their legs, pulling their arms, just to do anything to break the chain apart. It was just horrible. They snatched somebody right out of my arms, and there was nothing I could do about it. But before the police had decided to march in on the park on us, we did our police, I call it police training, what to do if the police decide to rush the park. But none of it worked. We was just kind of totally caught by surprise and off guard. There was very little warning. There was either leave the park now or be arrested. And I mean, we were told if given that situation, it would be best just to leave the park. But if we decided to stay, that legal help would be provided to us. So everybody decided to stay. I would say there was maybe 100 arrests. There was 2 busloads of people that were arrested yesterday for nothing, for peaceful demonstrating. I mean, the police, they had their batons in hand. They had their white handcuffs in hand, ready to arrest everybody. For what? I don't know. Just having a peaceful time in the park. After I wasn't arrested, but my friend was, we were forced out of the park. The police did the same march on us again for nothing, just to move us 1 more block further. They just trampled us. And it was so bad when people was trying to get away from the police, and they were trampling over occupiers. And the police just marched right in, like the Darth Vader march or something. It was disgusting. I hate it. And right now, I really feel like I hate the NYPD, and I never said that before. I mean, all in all, it was beautiful spirit. You arrest 1 occupier, 2 more appear.
Yeah.
Freddie?
I can't hear you. I can't
Oakland is with you, you know? We want to say it. Should we all say it together?
Yeah. So, Freddie, we're gathered here. Occupy Oakland is gathered here in solidarity with you all out there in New York. And we're about to make some noise so you can hear us. Oakland!
Frozen. You guys have to tell me because it looks like it's recording fine.
That was so great.
They're asking me if my stream's frozen. I don't know. It shouldn't be. Does it tell you when it's frozen? It doesn't, does it? Shit.
You might just want to restart. I usually restart right at the beginning of the